My name is Sardani Saiva Rupinder Kaur Khalsa. I am originally from Chile, South America, and I'm currently living in Ottawa, Canada, and I'm truly humbled by just the presence of all of you here. So good to be back in this sacred land of Guru Ramdas Puri. And I'm also really excited about the class that we have today, because this is a topic that I feel really passionate about, and the reason why is that it's been truly life-changing for me. Whenever I have gone through any kind of challenge or so-called crisis, whenever I need to find the right answer, or whenever I have felt confused or just, mentally dispersed, and I really don't know what else to do because I have tried everything, tapping into my inner silence has been the answer. And since that has been my experience, I love sharing it with all of you. And it's just, a shortcut. Sometimes we just get into this mental loop of thinking, what do I have to do? How do I overcome this? Why did this happen? Why is it me? Oh God, why? But if we just go into deep silence, we can find the answers right away instead of just wasting our prana, our life energy. So today we're going to learn why this is important and how we can start practicing it and how we can do it, basically. So first of all, how many of you feel really difficult to enter into a state of silence for more than, let's say, 30 seconds? Raise your hand. That was me too. So how many of you feel maybe a little bit scared when trying to get into a state of silence? Raise your hand. Yeah. Feels so scary sometimes. Yeah. How many of you have experienced deep state of silence and have just felt in love with it? The majority of you. How many of you have been able to maintain that deep state of silence throughout your day? And how many of you have been able to maintain that state of silence whenever you are facing, let's say, a difficult conversation or a difficult situation? No. Yes. Congratulations. Maybe you have to be here and teach us. Yeah. It is not easy, and at the same time, it's really easy. The reason why we feel that tapping into a deep state of silence when we are facing crisis or challenges is because we just haven't been able, or we have not learned, let's say that way, how to train the mind. And that's because we have not learned how the mind works, basically. So the mind overtakes us all the time. And sometimes we don't even realize it. I mean, if you are sitting here right now, I'm 100% sure that you do realize when your mind overtakes you, right? Maybe not 100% of the time, but most part of the time or sometimes. And Yogi Bhajan Sri Singh Sahib said, it is so easy to tap into a deep state of silence if you just allow it to be, because silence is what you actually are. Silence is your essence. The soul, yes, it is sparkly. It is shining all the time. You might not allow it to shine, or maybe you do, but silence is the essence of the soul. And that's consciousness. That's a deep state of consciousness. So first of all, let's move one step backwards. When we talk about crisis, What's a crisis? How could you describe crisis? When you hear the word crisis, what do you think about? Overwhelm? Any other feelings or thoughts or emotions come to you when you hear the word crisis? Stress?
Anxiety.
Stress, anxiety? Fear?
Emotional turmoil.
Yes, emotional turmoil, change. We don't like change, don't we? It's hard for the mind to embrace change. What else? Sorry? Urgency, yeah. Kind of like we need to move, we need to do something about it, right? It's so hard to stay still and allow for the situation to unfold or allow for the answer to come. Especially in our society in which everything has to be immediate and fast-paced, right? Social media doesn't help at all with that. So first of all, crisis. Everything that you have said is our reaction towards crisis. It's not crisis itself. So a challenge becomes a crisis when we identify with all of those emotions that you have described and many others. We don't really need to be living in crisis. Some crises are, just karma, and we just need to go through it and deal with it. It is what it is. God sent us that in order to realize something, to learn something. But sometimes crisis can be self-created due to our reaction to what we are facing. And what is a reaction? Do you know what a reaction is? Feel free to, pitch in. Fear?
It's automatic.
It's automatic, yeah. Cause and effect, yeah. But in terms of a reaction towards a challenge, when you react towards what's going on in your present life right now, why do you react? Because it triggers you something. You are not accepting it. That's the key. You are resisting what's going on. What's happening to you, you think it's happening to you, but it is not. It's just happening in your present moment. But your mind makes you think, because it is untrained, it makes you think that this is all about you. And this is an issue that has to be with who you are. Maybe you are lacking something. Maybe you're not good enough. Maybe you're not able to deal with something, and blah, 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 blah. Right? It's infinite. I mean, the list can go on and on and on and on. And it's especially triggered by the negative mind. The negative mind is the first part of the mind, the first functional mind that reacts. That's the definition. It reacts towards what's going on. And it is fed by your false beliefs. And those false beliefs were created at some point in your life. Some of them, I dare to say the majority of them were created during our childhood, especially if the adults around us were not, regulated people. But that doesn't mean that we have to live that way, with allowing those false beliefs to lead the way, I mean, once you are here, you don't have a choice. You just have to deal with it. You have to take charge of it. When you are completely unconscious of those false beliefs, or unconscious of how your mind is reacting and resisting what's going on, when you realize that, at that very moment, you just don't have a choice. You cannot go back to who you are. You have to take the courage to take the step forward and do something about it. But that doing something, sometimes we think, oh my gosh, I have to do like 100 kriyas. I have to do like 5 meditations a day. I have to do this and that. And sometimes we just need to allow for something to be, in order to realize and to find the nectar, to find the root cause of something. And that can happen in many different contexts. When you're meditating, maybe when you're doing White Tantric, maybe when you're journaling, or maybe when you're just consciously breathing long and deeply when you're having an argument with something. An argument that could not be avoided. So what's Gurbani has to do with all of this? What's Gurbani? I know you know. Say it out loud. The Guru song, yeah. It's one of the ways we could define it. Guru. Bani, word. Gurbani is the word of the Guru. So everything that was written by any of the Gurus, everything is Gurbani. Satnam is Gurbani. Ad Sach, Jugad Sach, Heb Sach, Nanak Hosib Sach is Gurbani. A lengthy Shabad is Gurbani. When you read Siri Guru Granth Sahib or your Nitnem, you are reading Gurbani. But it's not just, like something that's been written. It is life in itself. That's the beauty of Gurbani. Because it came through a higher state of consciousness. And it was spoken by our Guru. It is alive. It is not just something you read. It's not just, like a book or just a song you chant. It has the capacity to transform yourself, to transform you. And we already know the effects in the brain, right? We don't need to talk about it. Maybe? Okay, yeah, a little bit. So there is a permutation that happens whenever we pronounce Gurbani. The tongue hits the upper palate in the mouth, and there are several meridian points connected to the brain. And those meridian points, when they are stimulated properly, can create different states of consciousness. But all of those states of consciousness have one main purpose, which is silence, bringing you to your neutrality. That's the main purpose of Gurbani. It brings you to your inner neutrality in order to help you connect with your inner silence and your inner consciousness. So it's not about, like experiencing, seeing colors, or, like I saw this person's chakras opening up, blah, 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 blah. That could be part of the experience, but the main thing is that it connects you with your neutrality, with your silence. When you're reading Gurbani, or when you're chanting Gurbani, you are connecting with the same frequency that the Guru was in when he first said those words. You become the Guru itself, incarnated in you, in your soul. There's no difference between you and your Guru. Guru is in your heart. You're just, like opening the door, using the Gurbani as a key to opening up that understanding. And when you experience that understanding beyond, like thinking, oh yeah, Guru and me are one, Guru and me are one. When you really feel it within you, like filling you up with that internal peace, life becomes like so joyful and so full of just understanding the perfection of what's going on. So you don't react, you just accept what's happening. But acceptance doesn't mean that you don't do what you have to do. Sometimes you do have to use, like your spiritual kirpan and cut through what needs to be cut through the negativity, and you take the steps that you need to take in order for something to change or to happen. We are not passives. We're not passive people here. But sometimes there's nothing more that you can do. And that's the point when the mind feels the need to tell you, hey, maybe you need to talk to this person, or maybe you need to do this or that, or maybe you're not enough, you're not able to deal with it, you're not capable of, blah, blah, blah. But no, that's the point when you have to sit still in your heart and listen. Because silence happens through listening. Are you listening to this right now? Or is your mind taking you somewhere else? Like, I'm feeling hungry, I need to go to the bathroom. Yeah, it happens, it's okay. It's a practice that needs to be developed. Just like bringing yourself here to the present moment again and again and again. There's lots of talk about, we need to live in the present moment and let's just, let's live in the present. But sometimes that talk can be a little bit superficial. Presence. The power of your presence comes from you being present in your breath. And your presence works when it works with you, within you first. And we can do it in our daily lives, when you're cooking, when you're chopping veggies, when you're cleaning your bathroom. If you remember to bring your attention to what you're doing, and you make it into an act of devotion instead of just, I'm cleaning the bathroom. How can we not feel a deep state of joy and presence and just, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. If I'm cleaning the bathroom, I'm cleaning the bathroom with all my heart. And I'm here, fully embodied, smelling everything that's happening there. I'm here. My mind is not wandering. For those of you who have had the opportunity to read from Sri Guru Granth Sahib, over and over again, there is no single page in Sri Guru Granth Sahib that doesn't speak about the wandering mind. And the problem of it, when we allow our mind to wander into the past or into the future, past has to do with, sadness, a little bit of depression, not letting go of. And future has to do with a little bit of more anxiety and, not being able to, feeling of like you don't have the control of what's going on or what might happen in your life. When we allow for the mind to go, back and there, back and forth, we are not living. We're not living. And you realize that. You miss out of what's going on in your life. You are just surviving. You're just a robot, living, acting, working. But you are not living. Living means you are fully embodied here in what you are doing, what you're feeling, what's happening, even if it's challenging. And a tool to do that is, for example, chanting the highest Gurbani that is, which is Waheguru. Waheguru is, if you have to resume and summarize all of the teachings into one single phrase, Waheguru. You don't need to read, like everything. If you are able to read from Sri Guru Granth Sahib and Nitnem's Banis, wonderful. If for some reason you need to, bring everything into a condensed state, use Waheguru. Waheguru when you're cleaning, Waheguru when you're breathing, Waheguru even in your sleep. You dream of Waheguru. And you wake up saying to yourself, Waheguru. It's a training. It's not impossible. Your mind makes you feel it is. Does that make sense to you? Does it sound familiar? What do you think? What's the first thing that you think about when you wake up in the morning? Waheguru? You're my guy. We usually think about what we have to do, right? Oh my gosh, I'm late. Oh, I have to do this. I have to wake up the kids. And I have a toddler, so my first thought is usually, oh my gosh, he woke up again. He's awake so early. But I have been training myself to immediately bring my mind into a state of neutrality and say, Waheguru, thank you for this day. Waheguru, thank you. Just thank you. An attitude of gratitude is another thing that can take you into a state of neutrality. And it brings you all of the blessings that you're looking for. Because you're just thanking what's going on with you. You're not complaining. There are 3 main poisons, says Yogi Bhajan. Complaining, criticizing, and I forgot the last one. Comparing. So, complaining, comparing yourself or your life situation with others, and criticizing yourself, others, life. So those are the 3 main poisons of life and happiness. And if you take those 3, and after this class, you just analyze your internal dialogue, the way you talk to yourself, you will realize how these 3 poisons are still there, ingrained. We learned to understand reality through them. So we are here to, take those out, take them out from the root, and put something different instead. The seed of Gurbani, the seed of Waheguru. And that's going to, on a physiological level, change completely your hormones, the way you understand reality, and the way your brain works. You will be creating new neural pathways. Your brain will start just working differently. And through meditation, you have been already experiencing that, haven't you? Yeah, yes or no? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this class, the title is not Overcoming Crisis, because the word overcoming, to overcome something, doesn't necessarily mean that you dive into it with all your heart and learn and take the fruit from it and become something new. We use instead navigating. We need to learn how to navigate crises or challenges. Hopefully we learn how to navigate challenges before they become crises. Mm-hmm. We train ourselves to do that. And when we use the Gurbani to help us with that, we will be awakening deeper states of silence and presence. Silence brings you into your presence. They are not separated. They need to be together. And the thing is, we feel scared of being silent. Mm-hmm. Because society, for once, doesn't really allow for people to be silent. You always need to have an opinion about something. You always need to think something about what's going on, like politically speaking, economically speaking, what's going on with climate crisis, what's going on with that. So you are being compelled all the time to think. And when we were kids, nobody trained us to actually not think. Did you learn that as a child? I didn't. I have been always chatty. I was always doing. And sometimes we do so much and we start validating ourselves through doing. And sometimes doing less can give us more. And it gives us more impact. Have you experienced that? Yeah.
Silence also makes you feel a sense of weakness when you're silent.
A sense of weakness? Mm-hmm. Can you elaborate that a little bit more?
crisis comes, and you're confronted with it, and you're silent towards mercy in the sense of why don't you react? Why don't you say?
Yeah.
So it's given a sense of weakness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's a false belief. Yeah. Which is supported by, society. We don't want to blame society. We're not here to do that, It's not an excuse, Society is like that. Therefore, I'm not silent. That's not the point. The point is to recognize how humanity has been self-creating itself, has been creating itself around, doing and separating mind from consciousness, from spirit, and just sometimes living through emotionality and commotions. Instead of, just use the shortcut, bypass it, go into your silence, and you will find the gem. You will find the jewel that Guru is always speaking about. Mm-hmm. How many of you have heard Guru saying, we need to learn how to cross over the world ocean. What does that mean? What does it mean to you?
Allow life the way it is. No.
Mm-hmm.
Resist.
Not resist, yeah. But it goes even beyond that. We are here to experience this human life. We already know we are spiritual beings experiencing a human incarnation. And we are working through our karmas. We have to deal with some stuff. We have to cleanse, deal with it, and there's no escape, period. We think there is, and we take drugs, and we do this, and we do nyami nyami la 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 la, and we're just creating even more karma, right? We just don't learn how to use the shortcut. We don't have to do the long round. We don't really, we don't need to suffer. We don't need to suffer. You learned to suffer. You learn that suffering is the way, the only way, and you feel validated, and you feel even important because you're suffering, Like, I'm living because I'm suffering. But that's not the point. If you are not suffering, suffering is self-created. Pain comes. Pain and pleasure. Pleasure is, the disease. Pain is a medicine. Pain sometimes comes because it just needs to come. You have to deal with that karma. There are some situations that you cannot avoid. I mean, when someone passes away, someone close to you, you feel pain. You feel the pain. But you don't need to live in suffering out of that situation. It is completely up to you how you deal with it, how you navigate it. And that's using Gurbani as a way of tapping into that silence that will give you the deeper understanding of that situation. But sometimes we just don't want to do it. We want to stay in the commotion of what's going on. Like, I'm suffering. Please help me. Cuddle me. And we start creating like codependency with other people, or depending on substances, or even jobs, like so many things. We can become addicted to so many things. But the truth is, you do have the key to break through that. And Gurbani is the key. Gurbani lives in you. Waheguru lives in you. That's your heartbeat. Waheguru, Waheguru, Waheguru. You just don't listen to it. It's like, listen to it. Pay attention to it. And when you pay attention to it, silence awakens. You awaken your soul. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to use the highest Gurbani, Vaheguru, in deep meditation. And you will not like it because your mind will tell you, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. Oh, this is so boring. Oh, I have to, my tent. Oh, maybe I have to go check on my tent. Maybe it's all soaking wet. I don't know. From last night. Hopefully not. But just stay with that. Observe that. Don't reject it because that's a reaction. Don't criticize yourself because you might be thinking stuff or wandering around, because that's also criticizing yourself. Don't compare yourself to the people around you. Just sit with it. Sit with what's happening, with any thought, any feeling, any body sensation. Okay? Okay? Are you ready? You don't sound very convincing today. Are you ready? Okay, so please sit up straight. Okay, and if you need to stretch a little bit, stretch. Okay, drink a little bit of water. Okay. I know after 3 days of tantric, we feel a little bit sore and a little bit tired. That's also an excuse, but okay. Let's allow it. Okay. So this is one of the most basic Kundalini Yoga meditations, and I love it because it awakens the neutral mind. And if you listen, if you truly listen, not only with your external ear, but also with your inner ear, which means you focus completely on the mantra Vaheguru and integrate whatever is happening around you, any sound, any light, whatever, you just integrate it into the experience that you're having now. It can work wonderful things within you. And it's one of the most basic meditations in Kundalini Yoga. And I think everybody would benefit from doing a 40-day meditation like this. Okay, so please sit with your legs crossed if you're able to. And your left hand will be on your lap, palm facing up. Your right hand will be on top of the left, palm facing up as well. The thumbs are touching each other. See, you're familiar with this mudra, yeah. Okay, so completely relax your arms. Okay, don't bring tension into the posture. Okay, you're not a better yogi or yogini because you're super stiff, Just keep your spine straight, bring your chin in, allow for your neck to align with your spine. Relax your hands. And feel that your hands are the womb of your mother. And you are just resting there. You're resting and allowing yourself to relax into the mudra. And your eyes will be rolled up, looking at your eyebrow. And do it really well. If it hurts, you're doing it well. That's going to be your physical focus. It will bring you back. Okay? Eyes focused on the eyebrows, the third eye. And we will chant together Vaheguru in 4 parts. Vaheguru. It's going to be like this. Listen first. I'm going to show you how. So you will inhale deeply. Vaheguru. And we will repeat that cycle. So it's that simple. And it can be that painful too. So allow any sensation and just relax into the mantra, but stay alert. Don't relax to the point of falling asleep. Okay, stay alert. And observe the tricks that your mind will play in you in order to take you out of the meditation. Okay, so we're going to do this together for a good amount of time. Just gonna put the timer on. Okay. Good. Inhale to begin. Vaheguru. 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 Keep up with the rhythm. Vaheguru. Chant from your navel point. Vaheguru. Feel the vibration of the mantra in your heart. Vaheguru. 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 You're already falling asleep. Wake up. Vaheguru. 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 Stay alert. Vaheguru. 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 Keep the eye focus. Vaheguru. 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 integrate everything that's happening. Vaheguru. If your body hurts, it hurts. Vaheguru. If you're tired, just allow it to be. Vaheguru. 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 Listen to the mantra, nothing else. Vaheguru. Listen with your heart, not your mind. Vaheguru. Become zero. Vaheguru. Allow yourself to just exist. Vaheguru. Vaheguru. Every feeling, just allow it. Vaheguru. 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 This is time to keep up. Waheguru. Don't let your mind wander. Waheguru. Time to wake up. Waheguru. Keep going. You feel uncomfortable? Allow yourself to feel uncomfortable. Just a little bit more. Keep going. Keep going. Keep up. At this point, your mind must be very crazy, telling you lots of things about moving, telling you how boring this is. Accept that. Accept it. Don't resist. Just keep going. This is your training. If you do this now properly, you will be able to go through anything and everything in life. Accept this being uncomfortable. And then any challenge and any uncomfortable thing in your life will be easy to deal with. Waheguru. Deal with your mind and conquer the world. Conquer your mind and conquer the world. Waheguru. Inhale deeply, 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 deep, 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 deep. Hold. Circulate the breath. Gently exhale. Inhale again. Deep, 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 deep. Hold. Integrate. Keep vibrating Waheguru within yourself. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Deep, deep, deep as you can. Deep. Don't move. Exhale. Keep your eyes closed. Don't move. Inhale. Exhale. When you feel ready, you can open your eyes. And you may also stretch your legs if you need to. If you need to move your shoulders a little bit. Stretch your back if you need to. We don't feel like talking now, don't we? Real silence doesn't really have to do with physical silence. If you know what I mean. We can be speaking, giving a conference, a lecture, we can be teaching, we can be just, having a conversation, even working. You physically speaking, you're not silent. But you can be deeply silent within yourself, which means you are in a state of stillness. You are quiet, still within yourself. It doesn't mean that you don't feel your feelings. It doesn't mean that you suddenly don't have emotions anymore. It means that whatever is going on within you, you don't resist it. You allow it to be. And if you, in your intuition, decide that you need to do something about it, then you do what needs to be done. Same with life challenges. But you don't allow for anything nor anyone to move you from your center. You don't get thrown away by a challenge that might come to you. And they will come. And they will keep coming until you take your last breath. Once you go back home after solstice, many things will be, changing, transforming within yourself, in your life, in your surroundings, your family, many things. But if you remember that you can stay you within yourself through the power of your breath, through the power of Gurbani, through the power of Vaheguru, nothing will, shake you to the ground. You will be like the bamboo. Yes, bamboo. Flexible, it moves with the wind, but it doesn't break. And it's not stiff. Bamboo knows how to move with the wind, with the storm. And then when the storm goes, bamboo comes back to its center. But we need to develop the skills to be able to do that. The main skill that has been a lifesaver in my life has been breath, using the power of my breath, and listening to Vaheguru throughout my day, within myself. At first, it will feel automatic, kind of like Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. And then you forget about it, and then Vaheguru. But it will become more natural to you. If you don't feel like using Vaheguru, choose another mantra, doesn't matter. Just pick one and stick to it. Plus your daily practice of yoga meditation. But this is the, like the practical meditation. Doesn't matter if we do a 3-hour sadhana in the morning, if throughout the day we are reacting to everybody and everything. Yeah. Oh, we're so spiritual for 3 hours in the morning. But then throughout the day we are fighting, creating crisis, having a negative self-talk. Just make the commitment to observe, just observe. Observe your thoughts, observe your inner dialogue when you go back home. Even now, but do a 40-day practice of listening to your inner voice. What does it tell you? What are those false beliefs that you have been carrying out with you for many years? Write them down. Identify them, but don't get identified with them anymore. Define yourself through who you are, your true nature, which is inner consciousness. That's who you are. It's not what you do. It's not your title. It's not your job. It's not if you're a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, husband, wife, teacher. Those are add-ons. But who you truly are is, I am, I am. I am, I am. And it comes into a realization once you know how to tap into your inner silence and presence. Does that make sense to you? Do we have a new 40-day practice? Like after solstice practice? I agree. Does anyone have any questions or comments, or does anyone want to share their experience of the meditation, or just whatever you might want to share? Yes. Through crisis? Well, there is a good one, which is the 4-4-4-4. So it's basically inhale in 4 seconds, really, not times, seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath in 4 seconds. Exhale in 4 seconds. Hold the breath out 4 seconds. You can do this if you are driving, if you're cooking, if you're cleaning, if you're working, if you are speaking to someone. Really. You will not look ridiculous. I had that, feeling self-conscious whenever I would be in public transport. Kind of like, oh, I need to breathe deeply, but I feel everybody's going to notice. Nobody cares. That's the truth. So 4, 4, 4, 4. I have been using that technique for many years, challenge or not challenge, and it just brings me to, go. I can come back to my center. And you can add a mantra, a 4-part mantra. Vaheguru is a 4-part mantra. So you can inhale, instead of counting 1, 2, 3, 4, you can say Vaheguru, hold, Vaheguru, exhale, Vaheguru, hold the breath out, Vaheguru. You can pick another mantra, Satanama, Ramadasa. Well, Ramadasa is 8 counts, but you can use it as well. Or Satnam. Satnam, Satnam, Satnam. It's a little bit like quicker, but yeah. Whatever it works for you in terms of like keeping your mind here and not let it go back to the past or go forward to the future. Because they don't really exist. Satnam. Yes.
I have a question. So to process trauma with these techniques, how does that work?
Which technique? I always get that question. That's because we're a very traumatized humanity. Repeat the question. Okay, so how, you repeat it, you say it again.
How can you process trauma from the past with this technique of being in the present moment?
You want to answer it? You go.
Well, basically trauma, this happens trauma and you are triggered, and feeling is the trauma when you are present with emotion, like allowing you to feel as much as you can, because it's not always allowed to feel all the way because maybe it's too much. You just take your time to be in that trigger and in the body, it's just like that. The only thing is, okay, you're feeling this, and you just do the same thing we did at the beginning. You feel pressure here, tense here, or whatever. You just allow the flow until the thing is released. And each time you do that, each trigger is getting lower and lower and lower. When the trauma is too big, it's better if you can be with someone who can be with you in that moment and allow that presence. That it's like what mothers do when they are like crying. It's just like until they.
So you feel the emotion, and then your mind, at the same time that you're feeling it throughout your body,
Thank you. So we need to learn how to redirect the mind. Okay? The mind thinks that it is in charge of your life. That's the thing. And the mind doesn't know anything. Okay? It's just like a spoiled child. It's just, like a child that has been running wild. And you have not really told that child, how things are. You have not put any limits to it. You have not said, hey, things are going to be like this from now on. Hey, I am the adult. I am in charge. When the mind starts telling you false beliefs, or maybe telling you, like out of being triggered, telling you, hey, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I need to, leave my partner because I cannot be in a stable relationship. There are so many types of thoughts, like billions, zillions, okay? when we don't, like set the boundaries and we don't train the mind to follow, how things are going to be from now on, then we're going to be miserable the rest of the life. And same with kids. The mind is crying out loud for you to put on some boundaries, for God's sake. The mind is telling you, like, hey, I really want to serve you. I really want to be your servant, your most loyal servant. I want to serve your soul. That's what God put me within you in the first place. I need you to tell me what to do, how to do it. So we don't need to fight with our minds. That's not the point. And we don't need to kind of like reject it or trying to ignore it. That's not the point. The point is how we can help the mind be trained and learn how to serve your soul. So when we have experienced trauma in the past, whichever type of trauma, doesn't really matter, we learn to live in either on a freeze mode or hypervigilant mode, kind of like the fight, flight, or freeze mode. And we live our lives through those states. We reject something or get all freezed out because we don't know how to act, or maybe we run away from something or someone or those feelings, and we just create more and more karma. But if we learn those skills, for example, how to use your breath and how to really listen to mantra throughout your life, because it's not that easy, I'm sorry to tell you. It's not just I do an hour meditation a day and hey, it's a daily meditation. It's a state of prayer. It's a state of meditation. It's a state of presence. And that has to be done throughout the day. It is like that. We feel lazy. We don't do it. We get distracted. We forget, but that's okay. The point is just remind yourself to go back to it. And that's how the mind gets trained. And I can really assure you that those triggers are going to be bothering you less and less. Less and less. They are going to be less painful. You are going to react less to them. Maybe you're going to stop reacting like completely. So it takes time. It's a lifetime. And that's the purpose of life. And Sri Guru Granth Sahib says, I think it's Kabir. I apologize, I don't remember exactly, but I think it's Kabirji, Bhagat Kabirji. He said, oh God, chanting your name is so difficult. Chanting the name of God is so difficult. But I know that it is the only thing that I am supposed to be doing right now. Because it is the only thing that will give me all of the answers. This is my interpretation of it. And it will actually give meaning to my life. But it is hard. I'm not saying here like, hey, it's just super easy. It is hard because the mind wants you to train it, but at the same time is resisting that training because it is not used to it. It is used to being in control of everything, creating emotions and triggers within you. Doesn't like being told what to do, but it will be easier in time. So there's no better time than the present to begin practicing this. There really isn't. Yeah.
It's like what you said, like as much what I feel in myself, as much as you practice every day, those moments of the trigger are easier to be conscious about than to process it. If you do not have like a daily practice, when you are there, you are just struggling. You just lost yourself. So if you get your mind in waheguru or in your breath, during that it's like kind of, oh, this is happening, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah, and you will keep on reacting probably, you know. But the thing is, you will realize quicker that you are reacting to it, that you are being triggered by that person or situation. So you will be able to adjust yourself and self-regulate quicker and more easily. So it's a training. We have to be patient, like patient space, wait, let the hand of God work for you. So there is one aspect, which is you have work to do. But at the same time, it's God's grace, the amount of time that it takes for you to, realize who you truly are and feel it within you. So there is a devotional component to it. Bhakti, do your practice. Shakti, do your practice. Bhakti, it's all in God's hands. In the end, God gave you this breath of life. God is breathing through you. So let the grace of God walk behind you, patting your back like, hey, it's okay. Let's just walk together. Yeah. It's okay. Start now. Someone said something. Yeah. Yep. I'm familiar with somatic. I'm familiar with somatic techniques. Yes. You need to find what works for you in terms of bringing yourself back into the present. And if you need to do that first, you do that. So we're not here in the business of, hey, just do this, just do Kundalini Yoga and breathing, and you will be fine. If you can do that and that's been effective for you, please keep doing so. And once you are able to reconnect with your breath and being able to deepen into that state, just do it slowly, increasing slowly and slowly. In Kundalini Yoga, we also have something called yoga therapy. I'm not sure you have heard about Guru Ramdas Center for Humanology. They are doing a beautiful work in Ukraine and in different war zones also, like bringing breathing techniques, specifically for PTSD. I recommend you getting in touch with them if you haven't, because they really have good people to support you during your journey of navigating PTSD. If you need counseling, I'm not talking about you specifically, okay? I'm just talking in general. If you feel like you need someone to support you, you can do so. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. You just need to be aware that in the end, you do the work, right? The transformation happens within you. No one can transform you. You can transform yourself. And some people need more time and more subtlety in the technique. Some people need, to get grounded in their body through physical exercise first, and that's okay. That's perfect. Just don't forget about your breath. And if you can add a mantra to it when you are feeling a little bit more regulated, it will accelerate that process of healing. Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing that. Satnam. I saw another hand raised. Yeah. Can you speak up a little bit, please?
Yeah, no matter if you're using Kundalini yoga or another technique, presence, somebody mentioned presence, let's say present. One thing that I find is helpful, if you're triggered from whatever reason, fear about war, you just experience trauma, ask yourself, what about this scares me? What is the fear? Why is this moving? Because if you can face that fear underneath that thing that traumatized you, whether it's a death of a loved one or a breakup or war or whatever, face that fear, and you stay present with it using the tools, that fear will never get you to that same elevated nervous system level as before. So, for example, if you have a death of a loved one, that traumatized me, or you're present with it. Why does that scare you? Well, it scares me because now I have to be home. Okay, underneath that, now peel off another layer of the onion. Why does being alone scare you? Well, maybe I'm going to die alone. Why would that scare you? Maybe that would mean my life isn't significant. So if you go down a couple layers and you face that thought of fear, then you just
Thank you.
Yeah, for PT, well, I'm work with compassion inquiry. That's a technique from Beyond Addiction. I'm a trainer on that thing from Kundalini Yoga. And one thing that, at least for me in PTSD, works well, because when you get in that trigger, you just freeze. It's like no move. And the only thing that like really works for me is like using this it's meditation that you move it's like MDR, but it's with a meditation. You remember this? Yeah, so sometimes I use that in the middle of the freezing. It's just like it's like the only thing that I can move is my eyes, and works. At least for me, okay, this is like I could feel like, oh, I'm breathing, and even if nothing is happening, like in my house alone, but it just like get the trigger, I use this movement of the eyes, plus the mantra, and allow me to go out. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes not, but that meditation is really good.
It's brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and many times also happens like doing through the work as the same of Emmy there, is like allow you to also process memories through the feeling. It's like, oh wow, this is why, and just like things start like moving. But it's the same. It's like you use the mantra plus the movement of the eyes. That is works quite well.
Thank you. Yes.
So with the presence and then entering into like stillness and silence, and then experiencing shunya, and then still using the mantra, or are you using the mantra and then entering shunya, and then are you still then repeating the mantra?
You are getting too much into your mind. It's your own process. It's your own experience. That's the only answer I have. It's okay. It's a technical part of learning how to do things. But once you get into that state of shunya, you will know what to do and what not to do. I mean, I cannot tell you that. It's going to be your experience. And it's going to be, there's nothing like it. So you will know.
What heals the trauma though, no?
If we go deep, anything can be healed once you are in touch with your soul. For reals, anything. And that process of healing, it's also God's grace. And this is not a religious thing, it's not like a hippie thing, it's not, it's just a reality. Because you get a realization of, wow, this is who I am beyond those thoughts, beyond this physical body. And whatever happened to me in the past, I am not that. It happened. Yes, it happened. Painful, yes, deeply. But I am not that. My mind has been making me believe that I am that. And there is no way out of it. But once you really go into silence, you realize you are much more than that. I mean, there is no limit. You're limitless. You're limitless. You're fearless. You are not powerless. You're expansive. And you are not an identity. So yes, I cannot tell you if you have to keep chanting the mantra or breathing or whatever, because once you get into that, you will know what to do and what not to do. So just don't let your mind to get in the way. Just dive into it. But bring your mind with you. Sometimes we get into the technical part too much because we feel like we need to control it. But the point is the opposite. We need to let go of the control, and the mind doesn't like that. And sometimes having a feeling of control has been the only thing that has made us feel secure, safe. But then we realize, no, I can feel safe and secure even through letting go of that made me feel safe at some point. Because now I have this. Now I have myself. Does it make sense to you?
Everything you said, yeah.
Sat Nam. Okay. Well, if there are any other questions or comments, you're welcome to come here. I just want to close the space for those of you who have other plans after the class. So out of respect to all of you.